Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David, and on behalf of NASA and myself, I want to welcome you aboard. This part of the tour, we're going all the way back to Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. It's going to take us about 15 minutes to get there, and I do have a video to show you that tells you more about what's going on Kennedy Space Center. Now, the big question of the afternoon is everybody enjoying themselves at visiting Kennedy Space Center?
Yeah.
All right. Well, the fun is not going to end. Well, I'm going to get you as close as I can to the Lannis building, and you go inside there, and with things, sorry. You know, it's after lunch, ready for a nap, whatever. Anyway, what's the great thing about in there is it's the Lannis space shuttle's in there. Now, this space shuttle is so big that they had to build the building around it. Also, it's all opened up, so you can see inside it. It's on a 30-degree angle. You can see what the astronauts work with. Plus, there's a whole lot of space equipment in there, in that building. But the one thing that I like to do is, when they let me do it, is there's a ride in there that makes you feel like you're taking off on a rocket.
Mm-hmm.
So check those things out. And now all you have to do is just sit back, relax, enjoy the ride, and enjoy the video. Thank you very much for visiting.
Since 2010, NASA's Commercial Crew Program has been working with American aerospace companies on creating cost-effective access to the International Space Station, or ISS, and other low Earth orbit missions. Launching from right here at Kennedy Space Center, astronauts can travel to the ISS aboard spacecraft developed by private companies SpaceX and Boeing. SpaceX's capsule, Crew Dragon, is capable of carrying up to 7 astronauts and cargo launched on SpaceX's own Falcon 9 rocket. Crew Dragon, upon returning to Earth, splashes down in the ocean in one of 7 different locations off the coast of Florida. These are chosen based on specific criteria such as weather and location of the spacecraft in orbit. On May 30th, 2020, SpaceX launched Demonstration Mission 2, also known as Demo 2, the first crewed test flight of the Crew Dragon. NASA's astronauts Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley launched to the ISS for the final step in proving the reliability of SpaceX's crew transportation system. With the success of Demo 2, SpaceX is now regularly sending crews to the ISS. Boeing's spacecraft, the CST-100 Starliner, has also undergone orbital flight tests in order to send crews to the space station. It's able to seat up to 7 astronauts and cargo. Starliner launches atop an Atlas V rocket, made by United Launch Alliance, or ULA. Upon its return to Earth, rather than splashing down in the ocean, Starliner deploys airbags to land in the desert of the western United States. Starliner was actually the first American-made human-rated capsule to have landed on land. On September 4, 2015, Boeing opened its commercial crew and cargo processing facility in what was formerly the orbiter processing facility for the Space Shuttle program. This building you'll see adjacent to the VAB boasts a large, colorful mural of the Starliner in orbit. The Commercial Crew Program is allowing private companies to design in the most efficient and cost-effective way, while NASA engineers offer oversight and expertise. While these companies focus on providing transportation services to and from low Earth orbit, NASA is freed up to focus on deep space missions.
Kennedy Space Center is surrounded by the Merritt Island National Wildlife Refuge. While the refuge in total takes up 140,000 acres, NASA only occupies about 7,000 acres. Other than the few launch pads and facilities you see spotted across the horizon, this area remains a refuge for 150,000 species of plants and animals. I want to introduce you to Becky Bolt, who has been a NASA wildlife ecologist here at KSC for nearly 35 years. Becky, what kind of wildlife can we expect to see here today?
We have lots and lots of different kinds of wildlife. We have over 400 species that occur out here on the Space Center. Look in the ditches and you'll see lots of wading birds, tall herons, egrets, ibises. There's several species of those, and I can pretty much guarantee you're going to see some of those. We have bobcats, raccoons, all kinds of animals.
Now, what is your role as a wildlife ecologist?
One of the main things we do is support operations. So people always think, oh, that's launch. Well, Kennedy Space Center is big, and we have a lot of employees. It's like a city. We have lots of roads, we have lots of buildings, and so there's lots of maintenance and construction. So anything that might impact the habitat or wildlife, we have to go out and we check it out. And we work with the project managers to make sure that animals aren't harmed. Gopher tortoises are notorious for this. They go places where they shouldn't be, and sometimes we have to move them. We also support launches. We do a lot of research because we help the land managers, which on Kennedy Space Center, the land managers are the Fish and Wildlife Service, because this is a wildlife refuge. We have federally listed scrub jays and federally listed beach mice. There's probably some watching us right now. And so we provide that data to them so they know how to manage the land in the best way.
What are some of the more recent projects you've worked on here?
The most exciting new project that we have, and it's not really new, it started in 2010, but it's been ongoing since then, is our Created Dune project. We were having problems with when there are bad storms, hurricanes, which we get a fair amount. It was destroying our primary dune here, and we were getting washover that was getting closer and closer to facilities. We created dunes and took lots of sand and spread it out and piled it up and planted it with native vegetation.
Oh yeah, because you can see there's a launch pad right here, the ocean's right there. And the dune is protecting it.
Right.
Well, Becky, thank you so much for teaching us how nature meets technology here at KSC, and hopefully our guests on our tour will see some of this wildlife today.
For more than 20 years, a pine tree along the Kennedy Parkway has been home to the largest eagle's nest on Kennedy Space Center. Eagles have long been a symbol at NASA for human spaceflight, including the famous Apollo 11 mission. Weighing thousands of pounds and about the size of a king-size bed, the eagles continue to return to this nest to raise their eaglets year after year. The eagles arrive to the nest in late August, hatch their eaglets around December, and remain there until they migrate north again in the spring. After all these years, it may not be surprising.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming up on the eagle's nest. I'm going to be on the right side of the bus. If you look ahead, you'll see in the tallest tree, you'll see the eagle's nest. And there was an eagle in there, Les. There it is. It's on a branch. Right here. Now there's a little egg inside that nest. Well, I don't know how many, but that's what they do every year. That's where they come back to.
That the tree containing the nest has been damaged by natural forces, impacted by wildfires, hurricanes, wind-borne salt spray, and even a pine bark beetle attack. The tree's overall health has declined. Eagles are very resilient, and all signs indicate that in the event our resident eagles leave the tree, they'll usually rebuild to the next closest optimal nesting spot. And there are plenty of options for them here at the Kennedy Space Center.
Did you ever want to be an astronaut? Maybe it was the cool spacesuits, or the idea of floating in microgravity. Whatever the reason, it takes dreamers, thinkers, and adventurers to push the boundaries of human space exploration. But no matter how far we explore beyond our world, the journey ultimately starts right here, in the imagination of our youth. It is so important to support STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, focused education curricula, to foster that next generation of rocket scientists, physicists, chemists, and of course, astronauts. These core building blocks form the foundation of the incredible achievements of NASA. The astronaut training experience here at the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex works with some of these bright children who may one day be the people who walk across the gantry into a capsule on their way to Mars.
My favorite thing about space is how we know so much, but then there's so much we can learn about it because of how big and endless it is.
What I love about the ATX Center is the microgravity simulator. That was really fun because it felt like you were fixing the ISS in like zero gravity.
My favorite thing here at the visitor complex, if I had to choose, would be the shuttle launch simulator, because it's so awesome to feel what the astronauts would feel like when they take off.
More than 60 years of innately curious and wildly ambitious space pioneers have led us to countless new discoveries and modern conveniences we enjoy today. Literally thousands of items can trace their roots back to NASA. From smoke detectors and memory foam mattresses to life-saving medical equipment. It's amazing how the work being done to take us thousands of miles into space is also making life better right here on Earth. Of all the benefits of modern technology, perhaps none are more powerful than our ability to connect with another person anywhere, instantly. To pick up a cell phone and call a loved one many thousands of miles away. To instantly share a photo with our network of friends. To collaborate and share information with like-minded people to create something great together. In a way, the modern communications technologies are making Earth feel like a smaller place. And while they are bringing us closer together, they are also enabling us to look further beyond our horizons. The journey starts here. By going behind the gates at Kennedy Space Center today, we each took our own small step toward the future of space exploration by learning and being inspired by the incredible achievements of NASA.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming up to the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. Like I said, I'm going to park as close as I can to the Landis building, so you have a short walk. In the meantime, please remain seated until I come to a complete stop and open the door. Also, be careful of the last step, because it's a long way down. Also, don't forget to check your surrounding area for all your belongings. We don't want you to leave anything left behind. And again, thank you very much for visiting Kennedy Space Center. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you.